Hey everyone, Caleb with Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with a big fat warning, big fat stop doing this, and that is, guys, I have a window right there. Stop storing your books next to windows. There are so many issues that happen when you store your books next to windows. So guys, if you guys don't do this already, thank you, but if you do it, this is going to be a video about just warning you of what can happen. Of course, I know a lot of people are going to continue doing it because, let's face it, the world is not infinite. There is a limited amount of space. We have limited amount of space in our houses, so some people, that is the only place you could stick a bookshelf. But I do want to warn you that the books that you put there can definitely be damaged. So first things first, I'm just going to grab... Honestly, guys, this is a rather random book off my shelf, but even with this random book off the shelf, it is not the best example. But guys, when you put your books by the sun, by a window, generally, if you have your books sticking out, the spine will get sun bleached and it will be a different color than the rest of the book. And in person, it does show. I don't know if it shows on video, but I can see an absolute color difference. When you have sun bleaching on the spines of your books, guys, it'll sort of look almost like you got some mud on it or something. It's going to be a little yellowish. It's going to be a little washed out. It's not going to be as beautiful as it could have been if your books were kept out of the sunlight. So guys, that is a big issue with when you store your books next to the windows is the sunlight. It does penetrate through the window and it does sun bleach the spines of your books, the covers of your books. It depends on what's being exposed, but that can damage your book and it can, hurt the value of your books. People don't like buying a sun-bleached book if they can have one that is not sun-bleached instead. So that is something to keep in mind. Of course, you can have your book in the sun like one day. It's not gonna ruin everything. But guys, when you have prolonged exposure, like just a few months even, it can cause discoloration in the book. And let's just say that you have one book like this and then the other book is like this and it's sticking out just over it a little bit. The part sticking out will actually change color. It will actually fade, and the part not covered will actually be a totally different color. I don't have any books right now in arm's reach that are a good example of that. I actually have one over there that's not in arm's reach, but you actually do get to see like rectangles where other books were that were also exposed to the sun, and it's not the prettiest thing to see. So a lot of people don't like buying books that have that. A lot of people don't like reading books that have that because it just looks a little bit dirty. So that is something to keep in mind. Sun bleaching is a thing. It does cause damage to your books and it doesn't make them as pretty as they could be. So guys, if you could have your books on a wall that doesn't get direct sunlight on it. So for example, if you have, so this is my southern wall of my house over here. If you have a window here, all the books on the northern wall will get the sun straight from that. And the books on this wall, for me, the east is over there, so those get the morning sun, and then that wall gets the evening sun, although where I live it's not as much for the evening sun. But you do have to keep that in mind when you guys are doing stuff for your books, where you're storing your books. You do have to keep in mind where the sunlight hits. I know that it is nice to store your books in a place that is sunny, because that way you can read during the day and have the sunlight, and anyone that's read during daylight in the sunlight, it's really nice reading a book in the sunlight, except for when it's like a brand new book and the pages are really, really white, and then you're like, your pupils are like this big because you like burned them out, because it can be very bright sometimes. But some people, they really do like reading in the sun. Personally, I like it. I just love the heat of the sun, especially because I live in Oregon. It's cloudy 99.9% of the time, so whatever sunlight we can get, we're normally happy with. But with that said, though, guys, that is a big issue with storing your books near windows is the sun exposure. Another thing, guys, that you guys want to keep an eye out for when you store your books next to windows is water damage. So windows, guys, windows break. When windows break, rain comes in. People open their windows. When you open your windows, sometimes it starts sprinkling. Water comes in. Sometimes, guys, if you're really warm outside, really cold inside, or really warm inside and really cold outside, condensation will collect on your windows. Condensation is water. Water drips. Water causes puddles. Puddles cause damage to your books. So water damage is another thing that you guys do have to keep an eye out for with your books, where you store your books. Windows can be a hot spot for where the damage is, and in fact, I don't know why this is exactly. I don't know all the construction stuff for how this is the case, but for some reason, some of the leaks that I see in houses are always next to a window, even if it's like a roof leak. It somehow ends up being next to a window so much of the time. Don't know why that is, but that is something that I do see happen a lot of times. So when you guys are storing your books, keep in mind about your roof. There are a lot of places in roofs that are more apt to leak than other places, so maybe you don't want to store your books under that. Maybe you want to store your book on the basement of your house, but sometimes basements flood. Oftentimes garages get a lot of water, so don't store your books in garages. So there's a lot of stuff for that. So I hope this video was helpful. There are a lot of other tips on how to store your books, properly to make sure they are make sure that they are best taken care of. Sorry for the stutter there. If you guys do want to learn more about how to properly store your books, I actually have a video right here on top that you guys should check out. I go over all the different ways that you should store your books to make sure that they last best. If this video was helpful, be sure to drop a like, and if you guys want to watch more stuff from me, feel free to hit the little subscribe thing as well. It does help me out. So if you guys do, I'll see you guys in the next one, and if not, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one maybe.